Relationship advice. Update. My boyfriend's friends called me a butterface and my boyfriend co-signed. Original post. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years. I thought he was attracted to me, all of me. He's never called me ugly and always compliments me with or without makeup. Last night, he brought his friends over. I'm cool with them but we're not that close, so usually when they do come over to play video games and smoke, I go upstairs. That night when I was walking past the room to the bathroom, I could hear my name. The door was closed but I stopped to listen. I know eavesdropping is wrong, but come on, they said my name. I heard one of my boyfriend's friends say that they hate that I always leave when they come, because I wear shorts and tank top around the house and usually dress more conservatively when I'm around them in social settings. He went on to say that I have a fat butt and nice front, but I'm a butterface without makeup. If you don't know, it's when a girl has a nice body, but her face. And my boyfriend laughed. Loudly. He didn't even defend me. His reply? Her body is perfect. What? They moved on to a different topic and started talking about other girls, so I gave up on listening and went back upstairs. I don't think I'm ugly, but I did cry. I'm ashamed to say my self-esteem took a hit but it did. It hurt worse to know that my boyfriend laughed and didn't defend my looks. I won't lie and say I'm the best supermodel, but I'm not ugly. I have shoulder-length brown hair, clear skin. Features are decent. Maybe my eyebrows could be less sparse and I wear glasses, but I would give myself a solid 6/10 without makeup and maybe a 8 with. Maybe I'm just delusional? I felt sick sleeping next to my boyfriend and wouldn't let him touch me. He's attracted to my body and not my face and I hate myself low-key. I'm 22, he's 25. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I can't even imagine a friend of mine talking about my girlfriend like that openly. I would say that he doesn't respect you. If anyone said something like that about my partner, they'd be invited to leave and never come back. You come into their house and want to perv on his partner? And then insult her? So many boundaries crossed. Honestly friend, I think you'll have a hard time moving past this. I think even when you doll up and look your best, you'll wonder if he even thinks you look pretty, and it will rob you of your self-esteem. That comment will be an intrusive thought that pops up for the rest of your relationship. You deserve a man who thinks you're a 10, even when you feel like a 6 or an 8. And that's the thing, there are probably lots of guys out there who are just as nice and cool as your boyfriend and who will love your body just as much. But who will also think your face is pretty and who doesn't laugh when his friends talk crap about you. He's not abusive, that's great. But you're still allowed to decide you want more from a partner than what he's giving you. Girl, you're better than me because I would have popped my head in there so quick. Right? Him and all his douchey little friends would have definitely heard from me lol. OP, find you someone that will love and respect every little bit of you, and not just to your face behind closed doors. And now for the update. I wasn't expecting to get so many replies. I read every single one and I want to thank you all. Breaking up wasn't even a thought on my mind, but seeing men saying they wouldn't allow their friends to say that and women saying they wouldn't tolerate that, helped me be more confident in bringing it up to my boyfriend because I wasn't planning on it. Last night, I sat him down and I told him that I overheard his conversation with his friends and how what they said was really hurtful, and it stung worse that he didn't defend me and just laughed. At first he denied it ever happened, and I got upset and almost cried because I felt so frustrated. Then he admitted it, and said it was just a dumb joke and he forgot about it 5 minutes later. Then he said that his friends' opinions wouldn't matter so much to me if I didn't care about their thoughts on my physical appearance. I said I don't care what they think, it's the fact that they said it and you sat there and laughed. He said that he finds me attractive if that's what I want to hear so badly, and that if my friend said he was a butterface, he wouldn't care because he isn't attracted to them, and since I care, I must have some sort of attraction to his friends. I got up and said that we're done. How is he gonna flip this on me, and make it seem like I want to be with his friends because their comment upset me? His reaction is what upset me. He said that if I'm breaking up with him because his friends think I'm unattractive, then I'm doing him the biggest favor of his life. So, we're over. I'm moving in with my sister in her spare guest room. I'm so heartbroken. His reaction wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I don't want to end things with him thinking I like his friends, but I guess it is what it is. I'm moving on. He doesn't care about me and I wasted 2 years over him. It's whatever, I'm not interested in dating now, but there's more fish in the sea. Now for some top comments. It's like a play-by-play of the narcissist prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. This deserves to be the top comment. I remember when I was in my abusive relationship, I would cry myself to sleep every night and this was the only thing that was like a reality check for me. Edit, I really hope that this topic surrounding narcissism, physical and emotional abuse from toxic family members, friends, and partners can help destigmatize talking about it. I probably stayed an extra few years in my abusive relationship, just because talking about it with anyone made them so uncomfortable, to the point where I just hid everything I felt and was dealing with. For anyone reading this in a narcissistic relationship, you are not alone, you are not crazy. You are validated, you are heard, and you deserve better than what you're going through. If you're contemplating leaving, gather your resources, reach out for help, and leave. And therapy will be life-changing while working through your trauma. This goes to both women and men. He doesn't really think you are into his friends, that was just his horrible attempt at making this your fault. You have nothing to feel bad about. Absolutely this. He's just trying to manipulate the situation. Abso-freaking-lutely. It's his way of doing mental gymnastics to save himself from being the bad guy in the breakup. When friends ask him what happened, he'll play victim and say she was a crazy witch. Turns out she wanted to sleep with all my friends. I'm glad OP left. That takes guts. Damn it. Must have been really hard wasting 2 years of your life with a dude that couldn't even say sorry my friends are a-holes. Instead of sorry for laughing, it's well, this is your fault for wanting to sleep with my friends. Screw that manipulative tool, you're so much better off. Textbook manipulation. OP is doing herself the biggest favor. Now for the next story. Update, my boyfriend loves to feed me my meals every day. Original post. I've been with my boyfriend for 10 months. He's the best boyfriend I've ever had. He's so sweet and attentive. He always puts me first and it's honestly a fresh of air compared to my past relationships. And he's a chef. Whenever we went out to eat, he would always love to feed me a bite of his food. I never minded and thought it was cute. When we started hanging out at each other's houses, he would always offer to cook and then he would feed me my meal. I told him it's fine, I can feed myself, but he would always insist. He said he loves feeding a beautiful woman his food. Now it's kinda escalating. He wants to feed me on his lap. I told him that I'm not interested in sitting on his lap and getting fed, I'd rather just watch the show and eat my chips myself instead of a whole meal he made. When I say no, he gets a bit awkward and I start to feel bad. But it's so weird how he loves to feed me all my meals. Why? I know there's way weirder things out there and the intention is sweet, but I'm started to think it might be a kink or something. I don't discuss the intimates of my relationships with my friends, so I'm on here. Is this weird or sweet? By the way, this is a daily occurrence whenever we're together. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I'm not even a little bit involved in the fetish/kink community, and this is screaming fetish to me. Yep, the guy's a feeder. OP, just look if he is hard when he's feeding you, and you'll know whether he's a feeder. I suggest you look into feederism. It's a fetish. I'd also be careful of your waistline. Because if he gets off on feeding you, there's a chance he'll get off on fattening you up as well. I've seen a few stories on here where women have been unknowingly participating in this fetish, and don't realize it until their clothes don't fit anymore. I'm naturally thin, 110 pounds, and since quarantine I gained 15 pounds, but I just assumed it was quarantine weight. Feederism? Let me look it up. If you tell someone no and they get awkward, upset, and guilt you into doing it, it's a kink. It's a problematic kink. It's a problematic selfish kink. Also, it's freaking weird. Definitely sounds like a fetish. As for your question, I see that as weird rather than sweet. Agreed, I could get on board with a lot of things, but having someone feed me my meals every day? I don't know about that. What if you don't want that big of a bite? Is the feeder going to adjust the food? Do you talk during the ceremony? Does he jack off afterwards? I have so many questions and I want zero of the answers. Yeah, I have to say this is turning into a fetish or some form of control. Who do you feed? Children, and you have control of children. I'd shy away from this or seek to understand it more and see if it's something you wish to continue. I never thought about it like that. And now for the update. First off, thanks to everyone that replied, I read every single one. I didn't even think my question would get more than a few replies. Someone commented that I research feederism, and I did, and wow. So much things became clearer, and now in hindsight, I'm shocked I didn't see it earlier. In my defense, I'm not a kinky person and I didn't even know this was a kink. For starters, I'm naturally thin and it's been a big insecurity of mine because I have no curves, no front or butt. I'm 5'7", and when we first got together I was 110 pounds, and now I'm 125 pounds. When he first met my parents, he later remarked that my mom being so thin after having 5 kids is crazy. Looking back, he seemed disappointed. He also tells me all the time that I have the perfect body frame to be thick. He noticed my weight gain before I did, and during intimacy, he would always caress my waist, hips, and stomach area and tell me I'm looking more voluptuous. He also told me he can't wait for me to get pregnant because he knows I'll be even more beautiful, and he'll feed me so much I'll never snap back. He always said it with a joking tone and a laugh, so I thought it was a dumb joke. I decided that before I say anything to him, let me look up his exes and see if any of them are fat or gained a lot of weight. He's new to the area and has only been with one girl before me, and her Instagram page is private and her profile is a group photo, so I couldn't tell which one she is. Then I looked up her name on LinkedIn and she has a profile. She co-owns a business with her sister whose Instagram isn't private, so I searched her up and my suspicions were confirmed. His ex used to be average weight, I would guess 140 pounds around 2018. She's now looks around 200 to 230 pounds. I was still in denial and thought maybe she was responsible for her weight gain and not him, because I just couldn't believe this fetish is a thing. I invited him over last night to watch a movie. I was scared to see him because I know that if I didn't say anything then, I probably never would have the courage because I'm very non-confrontational. He came over and we watched the movie and ordered food delivery. Our food came and he heated it up in the microwave and plated it for us like he always does. He kept the 2 plates next to him, and when I tried to grab one, he held them up above his head and shook his head no with a grin, like it's cute. I rolled my eyes and he grabbed a fork and took a piece of chicken then held it in front of my mouth. I refused to open my mouth so he pressed it against my lips and I pulled back and stood up to grab the plate he was holding over his head. He gave me a weird look and I wanted to say sorry so bad, I know, why am I like this? But I didn't. I just grabbed another fork, walked over to my couch with my plate and started eating hoping he could take the hint without me having to say anything. He came to sit next to me and started eating too, and we just watched the movie for a few minutes in peace. He then took a piece of chicken off my plate and tried to feed it to me, again. This time I said no and he asked what was wrong. I said nothing was wrong, and that I'm an adult and I'm perfectly capable of eating my orange chicken by myself. He said he knows I'm adult but he just wants me to concentrate on the movie instead of worrying about feeding myself. He then tried to keep pressing it against my mouth that I wouldn't open. At that point, I was fed up and I snapped at him that it's weird to constantly want to feed me and I don't want him to anymore. I did say it in a harsh tone but I was upset. He tensed up and didn't say anything and scooted over to the other side of the couch. Then he just stared me down as I ate, literally wasn't even watching the movie. Even when I would look at him thinking he would look away, he would just stare at my mouth as I chewed. I was disgusted. After I finished my food, he picked up his uneaten plate and told me I could have it. I told him that I don't want it, and he said he'd rather it not go to waste and if I'm too tired to feed myself, he'll do it. I was fed up again and I told him that I think we should break up because we're obviously not on the same page. He asked is this all because he wants to feed me? And I said yes, it is. He said that he's a chef and he loves food, and he also loves women and there's nothing better than combining the two. I felt like an object. He said this can't be the real reason why I'm ending things and I must be seeing someone else. That he treats me like a queen, and most other boyfriends wouldn't have ever cooked me a meal, let alone fed it to me too. I asked him to leave and he wouldn't until I gave him the real reason as to why I broke up with him. I said because you have a feeding kink, and he started cackling saying I'm a sick witch, and that a guy showing he loves someone as sad and disgusting as me, must truly be some sort of kink because no one in their right mind would do it. Then he left and blocked me everywhere. I loved him before, but that conversation turned me off so much and I'm honestly not sad we're over, I'm actually kind of relieved. I just don't understand why if he truly has this kink, he wouldn't tell me and ask me to indulge in it? Why would he deny it and block me? Is it because of my dismissing behavior when he tried feeding me? Now for some top comments. Maybe not telling you is part of the kink. Anyway, congratulations for getting out when you did. There was a whole post on here about a woman who discovered her fiancé was a part of a group of feeders who tried to hide it. This is crazy. He literally tried to trap her into an actual fetish without her consent. Gross. He started cackling saying I'm a sick witch, and that a guy showing he loves someone as sad and disgusting as me, must truly be some sort of kink because no one in their right mind would do it. This seems really sinister. You tell him how you feel and he turns to abusive words as a reflex, and putting you down to make you comply and ashamed enough not to tell people what he's actually like. He's vile, and he was hiding his nasty streak really well. I'm glad you were out. He did you a favor blocking him. Well, to be fair, OP caught him out. That part usually comes when he's already caused her to balloon in weight, and he can nag and shame her into believing he's as good as she'll ever be able to get. I'm sorry, but that is just too freaking weird. Who does crap like that? Even after grabbing your plate and walking away, he still sat next to you and was literally grabbing food off of your plate, trying to feed it to you? Then when that didn't work, he just legitimately stared at you while you ate? I would have told him I can't enjoy my food while you sit there, staring at me like a psychopath. I also especially love how he tried to gaslight you at the end. Suddenly you were a disgusting pig who nobody wanted, whereas 5 minutes ago you were his queen and he just loved taking care of you. How pathetic. You want to give him the real reason? Point him to these Reddit threads. Grabbing off his own plate, he wanted her to eat both servings. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.